Hello and welcome to Candlelight Curiosity, the podcast where we talk about what we learn when we're supposed to be asleep. Today we're talking about Albert Bandura's social learning theory and how orcas can help us better understand it. It's currently 4 a.m., so let's start off by talking about who Albert Bandura is. Albert Bandura was a Canadian-American psychologist who lived from 1925 to 2021. Many consider him the most influential psychologist in the 20th century for his work in social cognitive theory and for developing the social learning theory. During his life, he emphasized the importance of observational learning, imitation, and modeling in human behavior to aid in child development. His famous Bobo doll experiment demonstrated that children learn behaviors by watching others. So what is social learning theory? The social learning theory is the theory that we learn new behaviors, attitudes, and skills by observing others in social contexts as opposed to direct experiences or reading. Ideas within this concept include modeling, attention, retention, and reproduction of the observed behavior. It is a great theory for teaching social skills and proper behaviors. Because social learning theory focuses on how we learn, it is well used and studied by educators in school settings. It is a great tool to encourage positive role modeling and is applicable in every grade. Social learning theory encourages self-efficacy or their belief in themselves and creates vicarious reinforcement to motivate students. It is especially useful in an ESL classroom. With it, an ESL teacher can model correct pronunciation, sentence structure, and conversational phrases during a lesson. Teachers could then guide them by highlighting key language features. They can also show videos with clear, appropriate language models and pair students with stronger speakers who can model language use for beginners. However, like all theories, it does not have a foolproof design. Observing others' behavior is not guaranteed to change someone's behavior. It can oversimplify complex learning processes, it's difficult to measure its effectiveness, and it can lead to students imitating negative behaviors if the person they're modeling behaves negatively. Now, we know and understand social learning theory, but what do orcas have to do with it? Well, like humans, orcas are highly social animals. It varies between ecotypes, but where one group travels with only 3 to 5, others will travel up to 50 members. While most orcas spend their entire lives with their mother's pods, they're known to interact with nearby families regularly. They're also known to grieve and form bonds with one another. One interesting detail of their hierarchy is that it is matriarchal. Female orcas who go through menopause act as leaders of the group, acting as lead hunter, teaching the young how to hunt, helping young mothers, and protecting calves. Now, let's look at some examples of the social learning theory. Orcas are incredibly intelligent creatures, capable of making planned attacks on prey that are unique to each ecotype, meaning it is a taught behavior. But did you know that they're also capable of trends? One of the most famous trends was among the southern resident orcas. There were several sightings of these orcas carrying around semen on their heads for seemingly no reason. The trend spread among nearby pods when they saw what was happening until it was a common sighting for humans. 37 years after this fad disappeared, it returned. Now, the most recent trend among orcas has been offering food to humans. They have been seen offering whole animals and, if rejected, rip the carcass into smaller pieces so that we have an easier time eating them. These animals have experimented with different kinds of food to offer and even stayed to observe our actions towards the carcasses. This does align with past interactions of orcas providing gifts to boats who have helped them or members of their pods, but this trend is happening outside of those instances unprovoked and spread through observation. These trends show orcas learning from one another and copying a behavior as well as testing how humans behave through observation like we do them. Now, for our last story, it wouldn't be right to talk about orcas and not bring up Old Tom. Old Tom is an enormous orca bull about 30 feet long who lives around eastern Canada and New England. While orcas live in every major ocean on Earth, he's the only orca spotted in this area. In fact, he's never been spotted with another orca at all, an extreme rarity for this social species. That doesn't mean he swims alone, though. In fact, Old Tom is famous because of his family, a pod of Atlantic white-sided dolphins. Called a mixed species group, it is a rare phenomenon where species stick closely together for mutual benefit from social, foraging, and/or protection from predation. There are over 203 studies on mixed species groups. This includes orcas hunting with humpbacks in certain areas despite every other interaction between these species being hostile. There have been recordings of Old Tom eating alongside his family and playing. While orcas are known to prey upon dolphins, Tom avoids eating marine mammals as a whole, likely sticking to his family's diet, although his true diet is unknown. He also plays similarly to his family and has even changed his pitch, or his orca accent, to sound more like his family and communicate with them. Given all of this, there's little known about Old Tom and orcas as a whole, but what we do see of their cultures and family dynamics is incredible and gives us great insight into social learning theory outside of human behavior. Old Tom was not only living with these dolphins, but he was seeing and modeling a behavior and copying it, learning how to swim, talk, and hunt efficiently. There is still more we can learn about these beautiful creatures and more we can learn about social learning theory through them. And the only way we can do that is through observation. Now, I don't know about you, but I think it's time I get some sleep. Good talking and good night.